Hello and welcome to Brave Souls Rewind, the show where I 200 older characters so you don't have to. Today I'll be covering the older version of Ginjo, who despite being released in the same time as Fullbring Ichigo and Uryu, did not receive the same praise. Still, even if he wasn't as good, he was still somewhat usable back in the day. Now it's time to see if that still holds up. Now the first build I tried with this character is the normal attack damage build. Ginjo has a decent attack as well as a plus 20 bruiser, and he has pretty decent range on his normal attack. Fortunately, it's not that fast, so there's a lot of room for other enemies to interrupt you. Still, it does a decent amount of damage with this build, and it only increases when your low stamina damage link activates. Unfortunately, the trade-off is you have to be low health, and it's not exactly worth it. So honestly, I am gonna say it's a viable build, but I wouldn't take it in anything other than single player, as you have more control over the enemies in that mode, and you're able to take your time with them. Bleep bloop. Next I tried the strong attack damage build, and I actually really like this build. Ginjo does have pretty good range on his strong attacks, and they can actually do a decent amount of damage. His strong attacks were able to take out most of the enemies in one shot, except for some of the tankier ones, and I really only had to resort to using my normal attacks every now and then to remove what little health the enemies had left. Much like the last build, his damage output got increased by 30% once he got to low health, but unlike the last build, this one wasn't that bad. This is because he has better range on his strong attacks than he does his normal attacks, so it's easier to stay away and deal damage from afar. So that said, it is a viable build, and it's actually a pretty fun one. A little more damage would have been nice, but all in all, I'd say you could still use this, though I'd say still stay away from some of the harder co-op stuff. Now next up is the Strong Attack Recharge build, and those of you who know this series know that it's the Strong Attack Recharge build that is usually the best one of the three. Now for this particular character, I don't think that's the case. It was still the most fun build, and it is actually a viable build. It just felt like the Strong Attack Damage build was just a little bit better. Still, it doesn't mean that this one isn't a viable build, as it works for knocking enemies down, and you won't have to resort to your normal attack too often. It honestly just took a little too long to beat some of the tougher enemies, and in some cases, I even needed like 3 strong attacks. So while it is a viable build, I would say the strong attack damage one is just a little bit better. So yeah, that's Ginjo for you. He may not be as good as some of the other characters that came out with him, but I'd say that he's still... What the heck?
Oh, Martin.
Endless?
You're missing a build, silly.
No, it's 3 builds. It's always been 3 builds. Oh wait. No.
Hey guys, sorry about that. Martin had to step out for a second, but don't worry, he's totally still breathing. As for the Ginjo Glass Cannon build, I personally do not recommend this build because while his strong attacks have good damage and decent enough range, his normal attack has terrible range. And it is not worth the risk of you dying over and over again just to play him like that. Just get yourself a Sajin. Don't play yourself. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to go check if Martin's still breathing. Bye-bye.